Charlie Chaplin's 57th film released November 13, 1916. Behind the Screen, a short film written and directed by Charlie Chaplin, also starring Eric Campbell and Edna Purviance. In the film, which takes place in a movie studio, Chaplin plays a stagehand named David while Campbell, Goliath, plays his supervisor. Much of the film is slapstick comedy, but other issues are also brought up, such as a stagehand strike as well as a plotline in which Purviance, unable to become an actress, dresses as a man and becomes a stagehand. The film is silent. The film is noted for having one of the first Hollywood gay jokes in it. After Chaplin learns that Purviance is really a woman, he kisses her while on the set. A male stagehand sees this and, thinking that Chaplin has kissed a man, starts acting in an overtly effeminate way until Chaplin kicks him. Behind the Screen is a 1916 and film short film silent film written by, directed by, and starring Charlie Chaplin, and also starring Eric Campbell, actor, and Edna Purviance. Synopsis: the film takes place in a movie studio. A stagehand named David Chaplin has a supervisor, Goliath Campbell. Much of the film is slapstick comedy involving Chaplin manhandling large props, but other plotlines include a strike action by the stagehands, and Purviance, who is unable to become an actress, dressing as a man and becoming a stagehand. Image: kissing a girl, JPEG, mentioned in the celluloid closet and unknown Chaplin. The film is significant to the history of homosexuality in the cinema, as it contains a joke about the subject, which was relatively unusual at the time. After Chaplin learns that Purviance is really a woman, he kisses her while on the set. At this point, a male stagehand enters and, thinking that Chaplin has kissed a man, starts acting in an overtly effeminate way until Chaplin kicks him.
To understand Behind the Screen, you have to understand the extraordinary moment in history it was born into. Silent film was not yet 30 years old. Thomas Edison had only patented the kinetoscope in 1891. By 1916, the entire industry was still figuring itself out. Studios were chaotic, loud, improvisational places, filled with carpenters, painters, electricians, and performers all crammed together under one roof, churning out short films at a breathless pace. There were no unions to speak of. No formal contracts. Directors ruled their sets like feudal lords. Actors were often treated as props, interchangeable, disposable, anonymous, and yet audiences were hungry, desperate, for entertainment. With no television, no radio, no internet, the local movie house was the great communal gathering place of the age. A place where a factory worker, a shop girl, an immigrant who spoke no English could sit together in the dark and share the same laugh. Charlie Chaplin understood this better than anyone. Charles Chaplin was born in London on April 16, 1889, into desperate poverty. His mother, Hannah, was a music hall singer who suffered repeated mental breakdowns. His father, also named Charles, was largely absent and died of alcoholism when Charlie was just 12. By the time he was 9 years old, young Charlie was already performing on stage to help support his family. He and his half-brother Sidney learned early that laughter was survival, a way to connect with strangers, to earn money, to matter in a world that had given them very little. He joined Fred Carnot's famous comedy troupe as a teenager, touring England and then America, refining his physical comedy, the pratfalls, the mime, the razor-sharp timing that would define his career. In 1913, filmmaker Max Sennett spotted Chaplin performing in New York and offered him a contract with Keystone Studios. Within months, Chaplin had invented one of the most iconic characters in the history of human storytelling. The tramp, a shabby, dignified little man, forever caught between the world he dreamed of and the world that kept knocking him down. By 1916, Chaplin had outgrown both Keystone and his subsequent studio, S&A. He signed with the Mutual Film Corporation for a then staggering salary of $670,000 per year, making him one of the highest-paid entertainers in the world at the time. In return, he agreed to produce 12 two-reel short films. The resulting 12 films, known today as the Mutual Comedies, are widely considered the purest, most perfectly crafted works of his early career. Behind the Screen was the ninth of these 12. At Mutual, Chaplin had something he'd never fully had before: creative control. He wrote, directed, edited, and starred in every film. He rehearsed obsessively. He could shoot the same scene 50 times until it was exactly right. Behind the Screen was released on November 13, 1916. It is, on its surface, a romp, a slapstick comedy set set inside a busy, chaotic movie studio. And in this, Chaplin was doing something quietly brilliant. He was pulling back the curtain on his own world. 1. The film follows David, Chaplin's friend, working as a stagehand under the tyrannical thumb of Goliath, played by the enormous Eric Campbell. Campbell was one of Chaplin's greatest comic foils during the mutual years, 6'3", built like a bear, with a magnificent dark beard and a gift for playing pompous, bullying authority figures who inevitably get their comeuppance. The comedy is largely physical, Chaplin hauling impossibly large props, being crushed under furniture, navigating the absurdity of studio life with his characteristic mix of dignity and disaster. But the film has two other storylines that give it unexpected texture. The first is a labor subplot. The stagehands go on strike, reflecting very real tensions of the era. By 1916, labor movements were growing across America and Europe. Workers were organizing, demanding rights, pushing back against exploitative conditions. Even in comedy, Chaplin couldn't resist poking at the powerful. The second, and historically more significant subplot, involves Edna Purviance, Chaplin's real-life romantic partner and his most frequent leading lady throughout this period. In Behind the Screen, Edna plays a young woman desperate to break into acting. Unable to get hired, she disguises herself as a man and takes work as a stagehand instead. When Chaplin's character discovers her true identity, he kisses her. At that moment, another male stagehand walks in, sees what appears to be two men kissing, and immediately begins behaving in an exaggeratedly effeminate manner. Chaplin's response: he kicks the man. This brief moment, just a few seconds of screen time, would later be highlighted in The Celluloid Closet, the landmark 1981 book by Vito Russo, and its 1995 documentary adaptation, chronicling the history of homosexuality in Hollywood cinema. Russo noted that Behind the Screen was notable precisely because it acknowledged homosexuality at all, even if only to mock it. In 1916, the subject was almost entirely invisible in popular culture. The mere suggestion of same-sex attraction was considered scandalous, transgressive, dangerous. Chaplin's treatment is undeniably of its era. The joke is at the expense of the effeminate man. But film historians have also noted something subversive lurking beneath the surface. Chaplin himself was deeply comfortable with gender play throughout his career. He had dressed as a woman in earlier films. His tramp character was always somewhat androgynous, tender, gentle, domestic in ways that defied the rugged masculine ideals of the time. Was Chaplin aware of what he was doing? Almost certainly. He was too intelligent, too deliberate a filmmaker for the scene to have been accidental. A word about Edna Purviance, because she deserves more than a footnote. Edna was a 21-year-old secretary from Nevada when Chaplin discovered her in 1914. She would go on to appear in 35 films alongside him, a partnership almost unparalleled in early cinema for its duration and creative intimacy. She was not simply a prop or a love interest. Edna brought warmth, naturalism, and genuine emotional intelligence to her performances at a time when screen acting was still often broad and theatrical. Chaplin recognized this. He later said she was the ideal actress for his films precisely because she felt things rather than performed them. Their romantic relationship ended around 1917-1918, but Chaplin kept her on his payroll for the rest of her life. When she died in 1958, she was still technically employed by Charles Chaplin Productions. Behind the Screen is not Chaplin's most celebrated film. It doesn't have the emotional sweep of The Kid, or the political thunder of The Great Dictator, or the iconic imagery of the gold rush. But it is a perfect little time capsule, a glimpse into the wild, chaotic, inventive early days of an industry that would go on to shape the entire 20th century. And at its center is a man who understood, better than anyone, that comedy is never just comedy. That a pratfall can be a protest. That a kiss can be subversive. That making people laugh, really laugh, is one of the most serious things a human being can do. Charlie Chaplin was 27 years old when he made Behind the Screen. He had already changed the world. Charlie Chaplin. Born in the grinding poverty of South London in 1889, Chaplin had clawed his way from music hall stages to Max Sennett's Keystone Studios, and then onward and upward to SNA Films, where he began developing the craft and the character that would make him immortal.